Quick question. What language did you use inside your mind when you read the title of this episode?
Wait, how am I supposed to know? I simply read it.
But what happened before you understood it? Did your brain touch your first language for half a second? Why does that happen automatically? And how much faster could you speak if English went directly from meaning to speech?
Hold on. Are you telling me that every English sentence in my head is taking a secret trip through another language?
That is exactly what might be happening. And here is the surprising part. You may be translating even when you believe you are thinking in English.
That sounds a little scary. How can I discover what my brain is doing?
We are going to test it today. Not with a grammar exam, not with a list of difficult words. We will use images, sensations, emotions, and quick challenges.
Now I am interested. What is the first challenge?
Imagine biting into a bright yellow lemon. Feel the cold juice on your tongue. Taste how sour it is.
Ugh, I can almost taste it.
What appeared first? The experience of the lemon or a translated sentence about it?
The experience came first.
Exactly. That direct connection is the secret to thinking in English. Let us go deeper. What if translation is not a language problem? What if it is simply a habit your brain has practiced thousands of times?
Then how do I break a habit that happens faster than I can notice it?
Try this. Look at your hand. Do not describe it yet. Move your fingers. Feel the movement. Now think, I am moving my fingers.
Interesting. The English sentence connected directly to the action.
Good. Now stand up, or imagine standing up. Think, I am standing. Sit down and think, I am sitting. How much translation did you need?
Almost none. But why is it easier with actions?
Because you are connecting English to reality instead of connecting English to another word. Your body understands the action before any language explains it.
So what would happen if I connected more English to things I can see, hear, feel, and do?
English would begin to feel less like a school subject and more like part of your life.
Listen. I can hear myself humming, so I can think, I am humming.
Exactly. What are you hearing? What are you touching? How are you feeling? Why are you doing this action? These questions pull your mind directly into English.
And how long does this transformation take?
It begins with a few seconds. Then those seconds grow. By the end of this episode, you will have a practical daily system for making them grow faster. I need to understand why my brain developed this habit in the first place.
Because translation probably helped you learn English. You saw an English word, connected it to a word in your language, and memorized the pair. Your brain built a bridge between two languages.
So, translation was useful. I was beginning to think I had learned everything incorrectly.
Not at all. That bridge helped you understand thousands of words, but now you use the same bridge for every thought, even when you are ready for a direct road.
What does that process look like inside the mind?
First, you form an idea. Second, you express it in your first language. Third, you convert it into English. Fourth, you inspect the grammar. That is a lot of work for one thought.
No wonder speaking can feel mentally exhausting.
Exactly. The solution is not to fight your first language or feel ashamed of it. Your first language is valuable. You are simply training your brain to create an additional pathway.
A pathway that moves from meaning directly into English.
Yes, and every direct English thought makes that pathway a little stronger.
The first method is sensory English. Connect the language to what your body experiences.
How can I practice that?
Pick up something close to you. Notice its weight, temperature, shape, and texture. If you are holding a phone, think, it is smooth, it feels cool, the screen is bright.
I am holding a coffee cup. It is warm, it smells wonderful, and the handle feels smooth.
Excellent. Now connect English to sound. Listen carefully. Maybe you hear traffic, footsteps, music, or the soft sound of a fan.
I can hear a car outside and someone is closing a door.
Now connect English to emotion. Ask yourself, how do I feel? You might think, I feel calm, I am excited, or I am slightly worried about tomorrow.
That feels more personal than memorizing a translation.
It is more personal. Emotion makes memory powerful. When English becomes connected to a real sensation or feeling, your brain has a reason to keep it.
So English should not exist only on pages and screens.
Right. Bring it into your hands, your ears, your movements, and your emotions. The second method is mental narration. For 2 or 3 minutes, describe your actions in simple English.
For example, I am making breakfast. I am cutting bread. The coffee smells good. I need a clean plate.
Perfect! You can narrate while getting dressed, driving, cooking, exercising, or cleaning your room.
I could say, I am looking for my keys. I am opening the door. I am leaving the house.
Exactly. But there is one important rule. Keep the sentences easy. Thinking in English is not a performance. Nobody is judging your vocabulary.
That is difficult for me. Even in my private thoughts, I try to sound impressive.
Many learners do that, but complexity slows the new pathway. Begin with what feels automatic. The room is cold. I am tired. This music is beautiful.
Simple thoughts can move quickly and naturally.
Yes, speed grows from simplicity. After the basic sentence becomes automatic, your brain will naturally add details. The room is cold because I left the window open.
So I begin small and allow the thought to expand.
Precisely. You are training movement, not displaying perfection.
The third method is to learn phrases as complete units. Fluent speakers do not construct every sentence one word at a time. They rely on familiar language patterns.
What patterns should I practice?
Start with phrases that organize thoughts. The main reason is, in my experience, the good thing is, on the other hand, and it depends on.
Let me try. In my experience, studying for 15 minutes every day is better than studying once a week.
Very natural. Now use the main reason is.
The main reason is that daily practice keeps English active in my mind.
Excellent.
Notice how the phrase creates direction. Once you say the main reason is, your brain knows that an explanation must follow.
The phrase is almost like a road sign for my thoughts.
That is a wonderful way to describe it. Other useful road signs include, for example, the problem is, what surprised me was, and if I had to choose.
This feels easier than translating an entire sentence.
Because the English structure is already waiting for your idea. Collect these patterns from podcasts and conversations. Repeat the whole pattern aloud until its rhythm feels natural.
Now we will use the Rapid Thought Challenge. I will give you a topic and you must immediately say one simple English sentence about it.
Immediately? You are making this sound like a game show.
It is a game show and the prize is faster English. First topic, mornings.
I usually feel tired in the morning.
Excellent. Next topic, rainy weather.
Rainy weather makes me want to stay home.
Next topic, learning English.
The best thing about learning English is meeting people from different countries.
Beautiful. Now expand that answer with a reason.
The main reason is that English allows people to share ideas and experiences.
There it is! You began with one direct thought and expanded it using a familiar phrase.
I did not create a complex sentence before speaking. I followed the idea as it developed.
That is the purpose of this challenge. Choose 10 everyday topics: food, work,
family, travel, music, or health. Give yourself one simple sentence for each topic, then add one detail.
Should I correct every small grammar mistake afterward?
Review one or two useful improvements, but do not turn the activity into an examination. Protect the speed and energy of your thinking.
I think perfectionism keeps pulling me back into translation. I want every sentence to sound completely correct before I trust it.
That feeling is understandable. Translation can seem like a security check. You create the sentence privately, inspect it carefully, and then decide whether it is safe.
Yes, speaking without that check can feel frightening.
But communication is not a grammar competition. A clear, simple sentence said naturally is more powerful than a complicated sentence trapped inside your internal editing process.
How can I become more comfortable with imperfect English?
Practice expressing opinions quickly. Look at an object, a meal, a film, or a song, and react. I love this. It looks strange. The ending surprised me. I would choose something different.
Those sentences contain emotion, so they feel real.
Exactly. Strong feelings often move faster than translation. Surprise, joy, frustration, and curiosity give your English momentum.
So when I watch something interesting, I should react in English before analyzing my reaction.
Yes, let the first response be simple and genuine. Accuracy can improve through practice, but spontaneity must be allowed to exist.
Let us combine the methods in a real conversation. What are you planning to do this weekend?
I am thinking about visiting a lake near the city. The main reason is that I need some time away from screens.
That sounds wonderful. What do you enjoy doing at the lake?
It depends on the weather. If it is sunny, I like walking beside the water and taking pictures.
And if it rains?
Honestly, I will probably sit in the car, drink coffee, and complain about my terrible planning.
At least you will have coffee. Who are you going with?
A few friends might come. I am excited because we have not spent much time together recently.
What would make the day memorable?
In my experience, the best moments are usually simple. Good conversation, beautiful scenery, and a meal together would be enough.
That was natural, organized, and expressive. You connected English to images, used complete phrase patterns, and reacted emotionally.
And I was focused on the lake, my friends, and the experience, not on converting sentences.
That shift in attention is essential. Think about the message, the image, and the emotion. Let English attach itself directly to them. Here is your 7-day Direct English Challenge. On day 1, connect English to 10 objects you can see and touch.
On day 2, I will connect English to sounds, movements, and emotions.
On day 3, narrate your morning routine for 3 minutes. Keep every thought short and clear.
On day 4, I will collect 5 phrase patterns and create one personal example with each one.
On day 5, complete the Rapid Thought Challenge with 10 familiar topics. Begin with one sentence and then add one reason or detail.
What happens on day 6?
React to your day. When something surprises, annoys, or delights you, express that first reaction aloud.
That could be fun. This coffee is amazing. That meeting was exhausting. The sky looks beautiful tonight.
Perfect. On day 7, speak for 2 minutes about your week. Focus on images and experiences instead of mentally preparing translated sentences.
Will 7 days completely remove translation?
No, and that should not be the goal. Your first language will remain part of you. Success means creating more moments when English arrives directly.
A few direct moments can become a minute, and a minute can eventually become an entire conversation.
Exactly. Celebrate every direct thought. Each one proves that your new pathway is already working. I understand the real problem now. Translation is not proof that my English is weak. It is an old mental route that my brain knows very well.
And now you know how to build another route. Connect English to your senses. Narrate simple actions, learn complete phrases, react emotionally, and practice rapid thoughts.
The next time I see rain, taste coffee, or feel excited, I can connect that experience directly to English.
Exactly. English does not have to enter your life through a dictionary. It can enter through what you see, hear, feel, and do.
That idea is amazing. English can become an experience instead of a translation exercise.
Your challenge begins now. Look around and create one direct English thought. Do not make it impressive. Make it real.
Then share one direct thought in the comments. Tell us what you can see, hear, or feel at this moment.
Subscribe to English Podcast Island for more practical listening and speaking practice.
Keep listening, keep speaking, and keep building that direct connection.
Your mind is ready for English. We will see you on the island next time.